Job chapters 26 to 31 through the Bible. Part 7. Job has been doing good at patting himself on the back. He has told what an outstanding, influential, good man he was, and then makes a play for sympathy for his present condition. As he concludes his discourse in this chapter, he is still claiming that he is a very good fellow. I made a covenant with mine eyes. Why then should I think upon a maid? Job 31 verse 1. Job makes it very clear that he had lived a clean life. He didn't run around and chase women. He wants them to know he has not been guilty of ordinary sensual sins. For what portion of God is there from above? And what inheritance of the Almighty from on high? Is not destruction to the wicked, and a strange punishment to the workers of iniquity? Job 31 verse 2 and 3. He is still pointing his finger at others who commit such things, and he says they are to be judged. He cannot see why he should be judged so severely when he is such a wonderful fellow. He is about to break his arm patting himself on the back. Doth not he see my ways and count all my steps? If I have walked with vanity, or if my foot hath hasted to deceit, let me be weighed in an even balance, that God may know mine integrity. Job 31 verse 4 to 6. He is boasting of his integrity. Well, he is going to come into the presence of God before long, and he is going to really see himself, then he won't see much integrity. If my step hath turned out of the way, and mine heart walked after mine eyes, and if any blot hath cleaved to mine hands, then let me sow, and let another eat. Yea, let my offspring be rooted out. If mine heart have been deceived by a woman, or if I have laid wait at my neighbor's door, then let my wife grind unto another, and let others bow down upon her. For this is an heinous crime. Yea, it is an iniquity to be punished by the judges. Job 31 verse 7 to 11. He says that if he has been unfaithful or untrue, let his wife be taken from him. He hasn't lived in sin as some other folks do. And I believe that all these things Job is saying are completely accurate. He was really a good man, but he has this terrible blind spot, pride. His friends have led him into a defense of himself, and he just can't let up. He must boast about his goodness. We see this same sort of thing today among Christians. For a child of God to boast and to live in pride is just as bad as getting a gun and murdering someone. Pride among Christians is one of the things that causes our churches to be so cold today. People sit in the pews and think that they are just all right. My friend, if you are in Christ Jesus, you are saved, but regardless of who you are, your life is not measuring up to God's standard, and neither is mine. If I did despise the cause of my manservant or of my maidservant, when they contended with me, what then shall I do when God riseth up? And when he visiteth, what shall I answer him? Job 31 verse 13 and 14. Job was an employer, and he says that he was good to his employees. He was a capitalist who was good to labor. There should be more who could say that today. Of course, in our time the shoe is on the other foot, and labor is not too nice to the consumer today. Anyway, the point is that Job could say that he had been considerate. If I have withheld the poor from their desire, or have caused the eyes of the widow to fail, or have eaten my morsel myself alone, and the fatherless hath not eaten thereof. For from my youth he was brought up with me, as with a father, and I have guided her from my mother's womb. If I have seen any perish for want of clothing, or any poor without covering, if his loins have not blessed me, and if he were not warmed with the fleece of my sheep, if I have lifted up my hand against the fatherless, when I saw my help in the gate, then let mine arm fall from my shoulder blade, and mine arm be broken from the bone. Job 31 verse 16 to 22. Job had certainly helped the poor. He had a poverty program long before anyone else ever had one. He took care of the orphans. He goes over all this ground again. He is boasting of all the things that he has done. I believe he really did them, too, but he is lifted up with pride about it. That is where he is in trouble. He is constantly saying, in effect, I have been so good that God is unjust in treating me as he is. God is wrong. My friend, we need to get to the place where we can praise his name above everything and can see ourselves down in the dust before him. If I rejoiced at the destruction of him that hated me, or lifted up myself when evil found him, neither have I suffered my mouth to sin by wishing a curse to his soul. Job 31 verse 29 and 30. Job says that he didn't rejoice when his enemy stubbed his toe and had trouble. He was not spiteful. If I covered my transgressions as Adam, by hiding mine iniquity in my bosom, did I fear a great multitude, or did the contempt of families terrify me, that I kept silence and went not out of the door? Oh, that one would hear me. Behold, my desire is that the Almighty would answer me, and that mine adversary had written a book. Surely I would take it upon my shoulder, and bind it as a crown to me. Job 31 verse 33 to 36. He says he has not done anything in secret. He wishes his enemies would write out what they think of him, and he would be glad to wear it like a necktie or like a crown on his head so everyone could see it. He would walk up and down the streets and say, Look, this is what my enemy says about me, and it is all praise for me. How Job is boasting. He has discussed everything about his life, but he has not made a confession of his pride. Job is righteous in his own eyes, but Job is not righteous before God.